Welcome to this Hockey Day edition of Wild Breakaway with Wes Walls. I'm Audra Martin. Hockey Day, Minnesota. Don't know what it is, but there is something about playing on this day that brings out the best in the Minnesota Wild. Tonight, taking on a top-end team in Columbus, but here they are now 10-2-1 all-time on Hockey Day, Minnesota, thanks to a 2-1 win over the Jackets.
Yeah, and fitting that a Minnesota native, Zach Parise, ends up getting the game winner.
Yep.
Very important stretch here these last three games, especially the way the Minnesota Wild have played recently over the last couple weeks against some of the bottom dwellers of the league. These last three games before the week, having 8 days off, are very, very important, and the Minnesota Wild started that out with a very, very big win. Some of the ammo over the last little bit for the Wild is they have not played great against some of the bottom dwellers of the team. Columbus Blue Jackets are an outstanding team. The Minnesota Wild had a great effort here tonight. Devin Dubnyk played very, very solid, and the Minnesota Wild picked up a very, very important 2 points here tonight.
Yep, it was Jordan Greenway who got things going with his 9th of the season, followed up by Zach Parise's 20th. The Wild with those 2 goals on 31 shots. Columbus limited to 1 on 20 shots. The Wild go 0 for 4 on the man advantage tonight, 3 for 4 on the penalty kill, but a dominant night in the face-off circle from Minnesota. And this is just the kind of win this team needed, especially here as we start the final week before the All-Star break.
We knew we had 3 tough teams coming in before the break. And then I don't really know who's all on the break. So, I mean, you could take these 8 days. If there's 5 teams that aren't on the break and they win, you come out of the break and you could look at it could be 6-7 points out. So these 3 games are really, really vital.
The stretch of good opponents continues on Monday as the Wild take to the road, and they will visit the red-hot Vegas Golden Knights. It's an early game, 5 o'clock puck drop, so 4:30 with us on Wild Live here on Fox Sports North. That is a good challenge for Minnesota. Vegas Golden Knights, we know what they did last year. That was spectacular. Things not as good this year, but certainly still very impressive. They won 8 out of their last 10 games.
Pretty darn close to what they did last year. I know they went to the Stanley Cup Finals and lost to the Washington Capitals, but what they've done the last 30 games, I believe they are 26-3 in their last 29 games. So they are on fire, and a big reason for that is Nate Schmidt. Was suspended earlier in the season, did not play the first 20 games of the season for the for this Vegas team. Now he's been back in the lineup, and they've absolutely caught fire. I didn't see a final score here tonight. I could check my phone, but I won't. They were up by 2 goals, I think, with 3 or 4 minutes left against Pittsburgh. So a team that's right on top of their game. Marc-Andre Fleury is right on top of his game too. Devin Dubnyk sat right here. He kind of downplayed the challenge part against Bobrovsky and some of the better players. I can promise you, he knows exactly who's at the other end. So it's going to be a great challenge for Devin Dubnyk to pick up a couple points here before they go into the break.
Yep. Well, tonight was a big win, big 2 points for the Minnesota Wild to cap off a wonderful day of hockey.
Wow.
Hockey Day Minnesota 2019 live from Bemidji. Thank you to everybody that supported us, the volunteers, everybody that was included in the process. It was a wonderful day. And that is officially now a wrap on Hockey Day 2019. We're already looking forward to next year. But for now, let's just wrap things up on Wild Breakaway. For Wes Walls, I'm Audra Martin. Thanks for joining us here on Wild Breakaway.